Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 Monday evening. Here's what's making news. Let's take a look at the headlines. India and US inch closer at ASEAN summit in Manila. In a bilateral meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump hold talks on issues ranging from defense to security issues in the Asia-Pacific region. Government rolls out the second and final phase of Bharatnet. Project is expected to provide high-speed broadband service in all Gram Panchayats by March 2019. Toxic smog, 10 times the recommended limit, envelopes New Delhi. Supreme Court seeks a reply from the centre. Uttar Pradesh and Punjab and Haryana are on the plea to curb rising pollution. And over 330 people are killed and nearly 3,000 injured in the earthquake on the Iran-Iraq border. Impact of the 7.3 magnitude earthquake felt across many areas in Iraq and 14 provinces of Iran. India and the US inch closer as both work together with ASEAN countries for democratization of the Asia-Pacific region. Member countries in the East and Southeast Asia have agreed, in fact, the region should not be left alone for homogenic maneuvers of China. As part of this agenda, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Trump held a bilateral meeting on Monday on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit in the Filipino capital of Manila.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump engaged in a wide-ranging bilateral meeting in Manila on Monday. The talks ranged from defense to security issues in the Asia-Pacific region. Prime Minister Modi said the relationship between India and the US goes beyond mutual interest and can be beneficial for Asia and humanity at large.
भारत और अमेरिका के संबंध बहुत तेजी से गहरे और व्यापक हो रहे हैं और आप भी अनुभव करते होंगे कि भारत और अमेरिका के संबंध सिर्फ भारत और अमेरिका के हितों से ऊपर उठ करके हम साथ मिलकर के एशिया की भविष्य के लिए मिलकर के काम कर सकते हैं। विश्व में मानव जात के लिए हम क्या भला से काम कर सकते हैं। ऐसे अनेक विषयों पर हम मिलकर के चल रहे हैं। भारत की विश्व को जो अपेक्षाएं हैं, अमेरिका की जो अपेक्षाएं हैं, भारत उसको खरा उतरने में भरपूर प्रयास करता रहा है और करता रहेगा।
The US President described the Prime Minister as a friend and a great gentleman. He also used the opportunity to congratulate Modi for creating a conducive business climate in India.
Prime Minister Modi here. We've had him at the White House and he's become a friend of ours and a great gentleman doing a fantastic job in bringing around lots of factions in India, bringing them all together. That's what I hear, and that's good news.
Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi also met Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte. Both leaders discussed the security situation in the South China region. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, India, Japan, the US and Australia held their first official level talks under the proposed quadrilateral cooperation on security issues. The focus of the meet was to keep the Indo-Pacific region free and open, seen as a move to counter China's aggressive behavior in the area. The meeting was held just ahead of the ASEAN summit that begins on Tuesday. The issues relating to security challenges in the Indo-Pacific region and China's military expansion in the South China Sea are also likely to come up during the summit. And Prime Minister Modi addressed the ASEAN Business Forum on Monday, where he showcased the economic reform initiatives being taken by his government. He also invited ASEAN nations to ramp up their investments in India.
Speaking at the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit in Manila, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he wants to make India a global manufacturing hub, with the youth of the country being job creators.
We want to make India a global manufacturing hub. At the same time, we want our youth to be job creators, not just job seekers. For this purpose, we have launched drives called Startup India and Stand Up India.
Emphasizing India's Act East policy puts the ASEAN region at the center of its engagement, the Prime Minister expressed hope that the grouping will recognize business potential in India. He invited ASEAN countries to ramp up their investment in India and said the task of transforming the country is proceeding at an unprecedented scale.
Just as India sees business opportunities in the region, I'm sure that the ASEAN business community recognize the potential of business in India. While some of you are already deeply involved in India, others are just discovering the possibilities that remain to be tapped. To coincide with the ASEAN-India commemorative Summit of ASEAN leaders in January next year, we are also organizing the ASEAN-India Business and Investment Meet and Expo. I invite you all to attend this summit. It will be the biggest ASEAN-focused business event India has ever organized. India wishes to participate in your growth story, and we invite all of ASEAN to participate in ours.
Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister also visited the Global Rice Research Center in Los Banos. He inaugurated a rice field laboratory named after him at the institute and presented 2 Indian rice seed varieties to the IRRI Gene Bank. India is also setting up a regional center of the International Rice Research Institute in Varanasi, the parliamentary constituency of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With offices in 17 countries, the IRRI is known for its work in developing rice varieties that contributed to the Green Revolution in the 1960s. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The government meanwhile rolled out the second and final phase of the Bharatnet project on Monday. The project aims at providing high-speed broadband service in all Gram Panchayats by March 2019. Under the current phase, broadband connectivity will be provided in the remaining 1.5 lakh Gram Panchayats of the country. And once completed, the government believes Bharatnet can add around 4.5 lakh crore rupees to the GDP.
In an attempt to bridge the digital divide between rural and urban India, the centre signed MOUs with states on Monday for the implementation of the second phase of Bharatnet that aims to provide affordable broadband to remote areas of the country. Telecom companies like Airtel, Reliance Jio, Vodafone and Idea have expressed interest in providing last-mile connectivity on the Bharatnet infrastructure.
It is expected to augment the spread of digital connectivity, which has the potential to create direct and indirect employment opportunities in rural and remote areas.
With an outlay of around 34,000 crore rupees, the second phase aims to connect 1.5 lakh panchayats through 10 kilometers of additional optical fibers and give bandwidth to telecom players at nearly 75% cheaper rates for broadband and Wi-Fi services in rural areas. The Telecom Ministry has signed agreements with 7 states, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Jharkhand, to roll out the project on their own with partial funding from the central government.
Designed to bring in inclusion. And therefore, we need to emphasize upon technology which is inclusive.
Adoption का रूरल फार्मूला सबसे बेहतर है. आज आप देखोगे 80 करोड़ रूरल मोबाइल होल्डर्स are recharging their mobile every month with a kind of digital method.
Broadband infrastructure on optical fiber network has been made available to over 1 lakh Gram Panchayats across the country as part of Bharatnet Phase 1. By December 2017, all 1 lakh Gram Panchayats will be operational on the Bharatnet infrastructure. As of today, almost 90,000 installations have been completed and services are expected to commence in 80,000 Gram Panchayats shortly. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, a thick cloud of toxic smog, 10 times the recommended limit, engulfed Delhi NCR today as government officials struggle to tackle a public health crisis. The apex court has sought a reply from the centre, Uttar Pradesh and the Punjab and Haryana governments on a petition seeking to curb rising pollution.
After a week of severe air pollution in the national capital, the Supreme Court on Monday sought response from the centre, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab state governments on a petition seeking curbs on pollution. Apart from asking for effective implementation of the odd-even scheme, the petition also sought a direction to promote solar energy and electric vehicles to check pollution.
ये बार-बार व्हीकल पोल्यूशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए कह रहे हैं, जबकि उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन PM10 के लिए सिर्फ 9% है और PM2.5 के लिए सिर्फ 20% है। इसका मायना हुआ कि मेन रोड डस्ट को कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है, चाहे उसके लिए वैक्यूम क्लीनर यूज किए जाएं, चाहे स्प्रिंकलिंग ऑफ वाटर यूज किया जाए और तरीके से जैसे रोड की डस्ट को रिमूव किया जाए तो दिल्ली के पोल्यूशन इमीडिएटली कंट्रोल की जा सकती है।
The Arvind Kejriwal government will seek a review petition again on Tuesday after failing to present a strong case in front of the NGT. The plan was put on hold after the Green Tribunal objected to exemptions granted to women and two-wheelers. They also said the scientists in the Environment Department are constantly monitoring the pollution level, where the air quality index has been fluctuating in the last 48 hours.
केंद्र सरकार जिस तरह से चुप बैठा हुआ है, 3,000 करोड़ रुपया देने में केंद्र सरकार को बोले हमारे पास बजट नहीं है। अरे लोगों की जान जा रही है और आपकी बजट की चिंता पड़ी हुई है। राज्य सरकार कह रही है कि दिल्ली में हो रहा है, इसलिए हो रहा है। दिल्ली के अंदर आज तक एक विजुअल किसी के पास आया हो, एक फोटो किसी अखबार में छपी हो?
सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी तो उनकी स्वयं की है कि वो अपनी दिल्ली को कैसे सुरक्षित रखें, दिल्ली को पर्यावरण से कैसे बचाएं, वहाँ की इंडस्ट्रीज पर कंट्रोल करें, जनरेटर्स पर कंट्रोल करें, डस्ट पर पानी का छिड़काव करें, कूलिंग, ये सब तरीके करें। खाली प्रेस इसका माध्यम नहीं हो सकता है, प्रेस के माध्यम से जाने से पर्यावरण नहीं सुधरेगा।
SAFAR, the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, said there was a possibility of light showers in the next 24 hours. Rains do bring temporary relief, but also leads to accumulation of particulates due to the high level of moisture. All schools in the national capital reopened from Monday after a 5-day break announced by the Delhi government. In Gurgaon, however, schools will remain closed till Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Rains lashed many parts of Chennai and neighbouring districts on Monday, prompting the administration to announce holiday for schools. Ennore, near Chennai, recorded the highest rainfall of 11 centimetres in the last 24 hours that ended Monday morning. In the last 24 hours, rains lashed parts of north coastal Tamil Nadu as well. For the next 2 days, there could be rains in 1 or 2 places in northern coastal districts like Chennai, Kanchipuram, Villupuram, besides neighbouring Puducherry. Earlier this month, at least 14 people died in rain-related incidents when heavy showers lashed Tamil Nadu. In news from Madhya Pradesh, Congress candidate Nilanshu Chaturvedi registered a victory with over 66,810 votes in the Chitrakuta Assembly by-polls. He defeated BJP candidate Shankar Dayal Tripathi, who registered 52,677 votes. Around 65% voting was recorded in the by-poll, out of which Congress won the seat by over 14,000 votes. As many as 2,455 votes were polled under the Nota category. Although 12 candidates were in the fray, the main contest was between Nilanshu Chaturvedi and Shankar Dayal Tripathi. Accepting defeat, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the public mandate was supreme in democracy. The Chitrakuta Assembly by-elections was held on the 9th of November after the demise of Congress MLA Prem Singh.
It is a vote for change, it is a vote for Congress party and a decisive defeat for BJP, and that would be replicated in the elections of Gujarat. The victory in Chitrakoot is a sign of things to come. It is showing a vote for change, it is showing that change is now rapid and it is moving at a pace. People have always punished arrogance and they will punish arrogance in Gujarat elections.
And here's a look at more national news updates in Nationwide. The National Green Tribunal has capped the number of pilgrims to the Vaishno Devi Shrine in Jammu and Kashmir at 50,000 per day. The tribunal says a new path to Vaishno Devi exclusively for pedestrians and battery-operated cars will be open from the 24th of November. Also, if the number of pilgrims exceeds, they will be stopped at Ardhkuari or Katra town. All new constructions taking place inside the shrine complex have also been stayed. The death toll in the Andhra Pradesh boat capsize incident has risen to 20. A team of NDRF and Krishna district authorities are undertaking rescue operations to trace the missing people. The government has appointed a committee to inquire into the incident. A case has been registered against 4 to 5 persons, among whom one was arrested. The state government announced an ex gratia payment of 5 lakh rupees each to the kin of the deceased. UGC has asked 123 deemed to be universities to drop the word university from their names. Supreme Court asked the use of the word university by deemed to be universities is in violation of the Section 23 of the UGC Act. The court has asked deemed to be universities to stop using the word within 1 month of the issue of the court order. The court has also directed UGC to take proper steps to implement the Section 23 of the UGC Act. Tejasvi Yadav appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in the alleged money laundering probe in Railway Hotels allotment corruption case. This was the second time Tejasvi was questioned by the Central Probe Agency in the case. Last month, he was questioned for over 9 hours. On to the top international story. In a strong 7.3 magnitude earthquake rocked the Iraq-Iran border region late on Sunday night. The powerful earthquake has killed over 130 people and injured around 4,000. Iran's Kermanshah province has been the worst hit. Rescue operations are on even as the injured keep pouring into hospitals.
Scenes of massive destruction on the Iran-Iraq border. Buildings reduced to rubble. Chaos at hospitals. People fled the safety of their homes as the powerful 7.3 magnitude earthquake shook the Iran-Iraq border region on Sunday night. Hundreds were killed while thousands are injured. According to the US Geological Survey, the earthquake was centered 31 kilometers outside the eastern Iraqi city of Halabja, about 350 kilometers north of Baghdad. However, the border town of Sarpol-e-Zaheb in Iran's western Kermanshah province was the worst hit. This is the moment the devastating earthquake struck the region, captured live on Kurdish TV Rudo during a news show on Sunday night, sending tremors that were felt as far away as in Turkey and Pakistan.
خیلی سرعت زیادی داشت. باعث شیشه بیاد پایین بریزه دستم پارشه. دست بریده؟ بله. بر اثر زلزله دست من برخورد به شیشه کرد. شیشه رو کلاً آمد رو سر صورت من دست من زخمی کرد. سر من زخمی کرد.
Rescue operations are underway as the search for survivors continues. The most extensive damage in Iraq was in the town of Darbandi Khan in the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region. The quake was felt across Iraq, shaking buildings and homes from Erbil to Baghdad, while at least 14 provinces in Iran have been affected. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei offered his condolences and urged rescuers and all government agencies to do all they could to help those affected. Iran has declared 3 days of mourning. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi also issued a directive for the country's civil defense teams to respond to the natural disaster. Being the first nation to respond, Turkey has dispatched humanitarian aid to the earthquake-hit areas in Iraq, including sending out beds, blankets, tents and heaters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now in Lebanon, where political uncertainty has not just left its citizens, but also world leaders worried. On Sunday night, Lebanon's Prime Minister Saad Hariri said that he would return home soon to formally submit his resignation. In his first televised interview since his surprise resignation announcement, Hariri denied being captive in Saudi Arabia. Instead, he blamed the Iran-backed Hezbollah movement for his resignation, citing concerns over his and his family's safety. And here are some updates from across the world in Global Buzz. A fire has destroyed a 2,000-year-old mural and An archaeological site on the northern coast of Peru. The temple of Venteron dates back 4,500 years and is considered the oldest discovered in the Americas. Besides the mural, the fire destroyed pottery vessels and records of all archaeological collections found at the temple. The blaze was triggered by the bad handling of the burning of nearby sugarcane fields. Papua New Guinean authorities began taking steps to forcibly remove around 450 men who remain in an abandoned Australian detention centre without food or running water. The refugees had barricaded themselves into the Manus Island Centre for more than 13 days without regular food or water supplies, despite attempts by Australia and Papua New Guinea to close the facility. The refugees refused to move to 3 transit centres as they fear reprisals from local residents. Dense fog affected parts of Chengdu city in China's Sichuan province, stranding over 10,000 air travellers. The fog delayed 45 outbound flights and caused 3 inbound flights to land on alternative fields. The fog reduced visibility at the airport to less than 100 meters, forcing a flight delay alert to be issued. According to the Aviation Authority, high humidity on the ground and the clear sky resulted in the radiation fog. A 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Costa Rica on Sunday night. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the quake was centered 16 kilometers west of Jaco at Costa Rica. 3 people suffered fatal heart attacks that coincided with the time of the earthquake. At least 1 building in Jaco was evacuated due to apparent damage. However, there were no reports of any injury. And now let's get you some updates from the world of sports in SportsBeat. Ace Indian QS Pankaj Advani won the IBSF World Billiards Championship and clinched his 17th world title at Doha. Advani defeated England's Mike Russell 6-2 to defend his 150-up format title. He holds the maximum number of world titles in any sport by an Indian and will be eyeing a grand double at the lengthier format of the ongoing tournament. In tennis, Liana Pace and Purav Raja won the Knoxville Challenger men's doubles title at Tennessee in the US. The Indian duo defeated American-Australian duo of James Setterani and John Patrick Smith 7-6, 7-6 in the finals of the tournament. This was their first ever title after joining forces in August this year. Germany's Alexander Zverev defeated Croatia's Marin Cilic 6-4, 3-6, 6-4 on his ATP Finals debut. World number 3 Zverev, who is the youngest qualifier for the ATP tournament, clinched the first set but faded in the second, which helped Cilic to grab the second set 6-3. But Zverev pulled himself up and grabbed the third set to claim victory. In another match, Switzerland's Roger Federer defeated America's Jack Sock 6-4, 7-6. The United States defeated host Belarus 3-2 to lift the record-extending 18th Fed Cup title. This was their first title win in 17 years. Shelby Rogers and Coco Vandeweghe defeated Belarus's Arina Sabalenka and Alexandra Sasnovich 6-3, 7-6 in the doubles to hand the visitors the decisive point. The American won 8 matches in total, which includes 6 singles and 2 doubles in the competition. Germany's Sebastian Vettel won the Brazilian Grand Prix, while newly crowned 4-time world champion Lewis Hamilton produced the drive of the day by finishing 4th from last spot for Mercedes. Hamilton, who clinched the title in Mexico, started from the pit lane after changes to his car following a crash in qualifying, finishing only 5.4 seconds behind Vettel. Finland's Valtteri Bottas finished second. Vettel is now 22 points clear of Bottas with only the Abu Dhabi season ender remaining, while Hamilton's overall lead was reduced to 43. And finally, Boeing kicked off the 5-day Dubai Air Show on Sunday with Emirates Airlines announcing the purchase of 40 Boeing 787-10 Dreamliners in a deal worth about $15 billion. Among civil aircraft, Emirates Airlines is showcasing its 100th jumbo Airbus A380 as well. We're leaving you with all these visuals.